was younger, I was absolutely certain that I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be a paleontologist, a marine biologist, a genetic engineer, a forensic anthropologist. Definitely not a teacher. As it turns out, like it sometimes does, life had other plans for me. You see, my father was a high school woodshop teacher, and my mother was a second grade elementary teacher. As a science teacher, I can only conclude that when you combine those particular strands of DNA and you run the Punnett square and you keep in mind Carl Cohen's law of incomplete dominance, the result must be 3 teachers, including 1 middle school science teacher. I spent years trying to convince myself that I was headed in a different direction. But eventually, I realized that science teacher is simply who I am at heart. My husband often jokes that you can find me in any museum and any zoo, gathering up every little kid around me and docenting the praying mantis exhibit. I get to ask questions for a living. I get to solve problems. I get to explore the world around me. And most importantly, I get to help young people discover that they can do those things too. Looking back, I realized that my career wasn't something I chose so much as something that found me. And if there's one thing that I've learned on this journey, it's that none of us arrive at a moment like this one by ourselves. One of my favorite quotes, and if you've ever heard me speak before, I like to use this one a lot, is by Isaac Newton. He was talking to Robert Hooke, and he said, "If I've seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants." My experience has been that I've spent my entire career being lifted up by a community of giants. The first giants in my life were my own parents. They modeled a life of service and showed me that teaching is never just about content. It's about relationships, opportunity, and believing in young people. I would also be remiss if I didn't thank the community that raised me and continues to support me today. The families, students, educators, and community members of Caldwell, Idaho. They have shaped my career in ways they will never fully realize. Caldwell is a community that taught me that education is strongest when schools and communities learn alongside one another. That belief in community has shaped who I am. I teach science, but more importantly, I teach students. I help students discover that science isn't something that only happens in laboratories. It happens in wetlands, rivers, farms, forests, and communities. It happens right outside their front door. My students test water quality in local wetlands, investigate wildfire ecology in Idaho landscapes, and tackle authentic problems that matter to our community. I believe students are most likely to see themselves as scientists when they can first see science in their own backyard. My goal has never been simply to teach science content. My goal is to help every student see themselves as STEM capable and STEM literate. After all, I've had a front row seat watching what happens when young people discover that they belong in STEM. Whether they become engineers, nurses, farmers, mechanics, teachers, business owners, politicians, or parents, I want them to leave my classroom believing they can ask questions, solve problems, and make informed decisions about the world around them. And that brings me to the people that I'm most grateful for, my own students. They've trusted me enough to learn alongside them. They've challenged me to become a better teacher. They've taught me that curiosity is powerful, that perseverance matters, and that young people are capable of far more than adults sometimes imagine. But the truth is that tomorrow, and next week, and next year, I'm still going to be exactly who I've always been, a science teacher who believes in kids, believes in public education, and believes that every student deserves the opportunity to discover their own potential. If I stand here today at this podium, it's because I've been lifted by giants. And every day I return to the classroom because I believe that the students that we serve today are the giants who will shape tomorrow. Thank you so much.